Well, look what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Chris Featherstone. This guy to the right of me is Vince Russo, and we've got someone in the bottom there reading a book.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, how's it going? Bill Apter's in the back. How are you?
Great to be here. And I'm thrilled.
You were saying that.
I'm thrilled to be back with you, Chris. And Vince Russo and I haven't seen each other in a long time.
Yes, they were bromancing for about 10 minutes.
We were bromancing. We're the original bros because we've known each other actually since Vince got into the business.
Very nice.
He was. I was telling him that he and John Arizzi produced the first wrestling convention I ever remember going to and photographing. And then when Vince was at WWF and not allowed to talk to any of the people from the magazines, we talked all the time. And I love him to death.
This is, Chris, you are looking, the people watching this show on Sportskeeda, this is the original gimmick right here, bro.
I appreciate that.
This is the greatest gimmick of all time, bro. This man right here. This man right here. And I'm going to say this now, Chris. You know, a lot of people, you always hear about the WWE Hall of Fame and who's not in it that should be in it. Mr. Apter, there are 3 people at the top of my list. The WWE Hall of Fame will always be a sham until these 3 people are in the Hall of Fame. Are you ready, Mr. Apter?
Right. It's George Napolitano, Frank Amato, the other photographer around the ring, the third guy.
Are you ready, Mr. Apter?
I'm ready.
You and I will agree on this one. Come on, Mr. Apter. Yes. The great Ivan Koloff? Come on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. Here's another one that's laughable to me. The great Steve Lombardi. Bro, unless we are ranking this on a 1-loss record, how many superstars already in the Hall of Fame did Steve Lombardi get over?
Well, not only that, he has a great loss record, too.
Yes, exactly.
True.
And, of course, Dr. Chris, the legendary, the Pope, the Master, the greatest Jerry Lewis impersonator, personal friend of Tiny Tim, the
Yes.
great Bill. How is there a Hall of Fame without Bill Apter, Dr.
Agreed.
Chris? How?
There is no Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm going to
without
show
Bill
you something. I have over here. I'm in six. This is my ladder of success.
Look
I'm
at
in
that.
16 different. I'm in 16 different Hall of Fames.
Are
Very
you
nice.
serious, bro?
Yeah.
That is all. What's my
16 different Hall of Fames. Yeah.
That is freaking. And you're
That's
not
my
in
ladder
the, and
with
you're,
all my
and
awards
you're
on
not in
it.
the WWE Hall of Fame.
No, not in the WWE Hall of Fame. You know, it's funny that people have brought that up to Paul, Triple H, Hunter, Hearst Helmsley, and he said, you know, he's heard a lot of people wanting me in there, and he says, you know, eventually we should find a good reason and do this, because there is a lot of people in the later years of the WWE, the younger fans and stuff like that, that don't have that historic knowledge of who I am in the wrestling business. So, yeah, I mean, I'm on the network.
I have a conspiracy theory of why you're not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Let me listen to. Can I tape this?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to tap
wait,
in Dr. Chris.
Let me get my cassette recorder here.
Okay, get it ready, Chris. I'm gonna tap you in
Hold
on.
Wait a minute. Wait a second.
Go ahead. It is possible, Chris, that Vince McMahon.
Wait, I got the cassette.
Okay, go ahead. Put the cassette in.
Okay.
It is possible that Vince McMahon has already inducted Bill Apter into the WWE Hall of Fame, but nobody understood what he was saying.
Nobody heard him.
Mr. McMahon, can you make the induction of the Hall of Fame?
Well, no. The deal is, I heard I was inducted, but I was banned from the WWE.
That could be the case.
Don't let him bring a camera into this building. Unquestionably.
No, that's not Vince McMahon anymore, Bill Apter.
No
As
more.
We've seen in the past couple of weeks.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Doctor.
No. What? I didn't understand what you said.
Let me do my gimmick, Bill Apter. Let me do my gimmick.
Go right ahead.
You're really about not to understand. Go ahead, Mr. McMahon. Induct the great Bill Apter. Go ahead.
No.
I'd like to make a special
Go ahead, Chris.
today. He's probably a legend in business, and he's a really good. He's Bill Apter after one wrestling. Good job. Congratulations.
There it is, right there.
Well, unquestionably, this is younger Vince, and you're fired.
Well, I'm older Vince, and
Chris,
I cannot hear when they're doing the vignettes, and I think we talked about this on another show, Chris. When they're doing the vignettes backstage with Vince, not only can you not hear him, but you also can't hear the other person.
Can hear theory.
They used to mic these people really well backstage, and now I have to literally turn my
that's what I did.
Sony TV up to like 140.
That's what I did. I'm putting my thing up to 50. Can I please try to understand what the man is trying to say?
Mumbling Vince is a gimmick,
Bill. Very grateful.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well,
let me ask Mr. Apter a question. Now, Mr. Apter,
call me Bill or Wonderful Willie.
No, Mr. Apter. You always be Mr. Apter. Listen, Chris. I hope you learned on our Instagram show, the first show with DDP. DDP ain't gonna bury anything, which is gonna make it very, very, very difficult. Because Mr. Apter, when something is bad, I say it's bad. I want to ask your opinion on this. Okay. I had the honor and privilege of writing for Mr. McMahon. Okay. When he was full of piss and vinegar, and him and Austin has some of the greatest television in the history of wrestling. I had the honor to be smack in the middle of that.
Yep.
When I'm watching these scenes now with, Vince and Austin Theory, I am thinking this tarnishes his legacy. I, for one, I don't want to see Vince McMahon in this light. I'm sorry. Does that make me a bad guy?
No. It's this may sound very crazy. And as you know, I'm always protecting the business.
Right.
One of the people who I won't mention his name on here, but he said Bill Apter's book sucks because he doesn't bury anybody. You know who I'm
But
talking
I
about.
don't think that's burying him.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Go ahead.
What I want to say
Go ahead.
is that I think in terms of televised video production, they could make what they're doing with he and Austin Theory, where Vince can look a lot better and sound a lot better. I think a lot to do with this is like when they take an older star in show business and they bring them out of retirement, they're not going to look great. And then maybe they're further behind the camera, further away from the camera. Maybe they're made up a little, or they're not on as long, but they're very close. They're shooting from almost up above, as well. And people don't think of that, and it doesn't put him in a good light. They're not protecting
him. They're not protecting
exactly.
him. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Yes.
And why is he? The other thing is, I know he's still traveling with the Raw show, but why is he actually even doing this at this point? What
Boost
is
ratings?
What's that?
Boost ratings.
But are the ratings going up? That why? Because they're also not public. That when he used to be on, or Shane used to be on, or Stephanie, they always plugged that McMahon was going to be on there. They don't do that anymore. Mr. McMahon will be here with the special announcement about Austin Theory Monday night. Okay, I might want to watch that.
Yeah.
But I don't know he's going to be on.
Yeah.
Great points, Mr. Apter.
Well, we got a couple super chats. We'll start off with Jason Robbins with a $2 super chat. Bro, Vince, any blackjack lands?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jason, if you listen to russosbrand.com, I mean, Chris, and Bill, like, he was really my mentor at the WWE. No question about it, bro. I started off with vignettes and producing talent and writing the vignettes. And Blackjack took me under his wing, man. He was a great mentor of mine and taught me so much. Like around 1995-ish, 94, he taught me so much, man. He was great. Jack Lanza. I mean, Bill, you must have known Jack for a long time, right?
I did. I knew him back in the days when he was in the WWA with Bobby Heenan and Bruiser in that territory, and he was always a nice guy. He always came over and said hello to me. And I knew he wasn't pushing to get in the magazines, but we always knew that he was he and Lanza, and he and Mulligan and Heenan were great material for the magazine. So he was very nice. He was well spoken. He was very intelligent person as well. He was very well read, and he loved the business. Yeah.
Very nice.
And he had a hell of a claw hold.
Yes, he did.
Vince sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Does my audio sound bad?
No.
Wait, which Charlie Brown are we?
McMahon.
Are we talking about the Jimmy Valiant Charlie Brown?
I don't know. I don't know.
Long
story. That's
Vince, what
you
was
can
that?
only find on After One Wrestling, ladies.
He's a clown. That Charlie Brown.
Yes.
He's a
why is everybody always picking on me? Who's always riding on the wall? Who's always pooping in the hall?
Let me go get my drum.
Yes.
Come on now. We can start.
By the way, the other part of Apter's Alley, beside a lot of memorabilia, in my other room, I have an entire singing studio in there. I'm down there for an hour about every night.
That is awesome.
Down there.
Is that a show? Do you have that show up anywhere? That should be a show.
Well, somewhere, I think, or Portland Wrestling. I think when I did it at Cauliflower, they put up everything but the music because there was copyright issues. But I do.
Would you be open to doing a karaoke show with me? Me and you just do karaoke. Would you be open to that? Could we discuss that? I do
it regularly. I entertained Steve Carino's mother for 45 minutes doing our favorite Barry Manilow stuff.
Tremendous.
Oh, yeah. I also rap, Vince.
Tremendous.
I'm the only guy in the world who can rap Barry Manilow.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl at the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. I got the whole thing. No, I would definitely. I don't sing any songs that I don't know the lyrics to. I don't use the lyrics. And I'm a ballad and Broadway guy. Also do a lot of Tom Jones
Oh
stuff.
my God. You know, Bill, there are a couple things people don't know about me. I'm going to share two things with you. Number one, you just said it right there. Tom Jones was my very first idol as a kid. Remember the close up of the microphone, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Jones, and the hand would grab.
No, this is Tom Jones.
This is Tom Jones. The grab would hit, the hand would hit. And what was it? Oh, and here, bro, you talk about show tunes. A lot of people don't notice about me, and I am not ashamed. I'm a huge Liza Minnelli mark, man. I've seen Liza many times, and I love that stuff, Mister.
I met her, and it's part of my Andy Kaufman story that we can tell on another story. I met her through Andy Kaufman, but I do a lot of Broadway. My hero from Broadway growing up was a man named Anthony Newley. Do you remember
of course,
him?
I know Anthony Newley. What kind of fool am I? Come on, man.
I do all his songs. He helped mentor me in the high school production of Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. So
wow.
But Tom Jones used to end his show. He'd go, "Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Unrik D. Dominic Bobamsa. Good night." I was with Diamond Dallas Page and Clint Kimberly at an NWA convention. And he and I and his wife went to see Tom Jones. She had no clue who he was.
Oh,
never heard of him. As soon as he did, it's not unusual, of course, but she didn't know, like I know, that he was one of the great ballad singers of all time. I've been in love so many times.
Thought I knew this.
We went backstage, and Paige said, "I can't believe that Bill Apter is marking out for this guy." I went over to Tom Jones and I said, "Could I do a quarter of a ballad song with you?" And we sang a couple of bars of "I've been in love so many times," so that song. And but when I stood with him, the shock was he was just a little bit taller than me.
Yes.
They used to shoot him up.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I tell you, I got to tell you my quick great. I'm sorry, Dr. Chris.
Let's do.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you were wondering why we were 10 minutes late, bromance raw.
I got to give you my one
Let's do one night of music. Absolutely.
Let me give you my one.
Do you have a machine?
I'm just alone for the ride, man.
Let me give you my one great Tom Jones story.
Go for it.
Do you have music and a machine to?
I got everything. Well, just sing whatever you want, bro.
Okay.
Listen to my one Tom Jones story. You'll get a kick out of this, okay? On my son's 21st birthday, I dragged him to Las Vegas because he was becoming a man, and I brought him to see Tom Jones. It was the first time I ever saw Tom Jones, my boyhood idol. So I'm sitting there with my son in Vegas, and I'm weeping and crying like a woman. My son's looking at me like, "What the frig is wrong with you?" But listen to this, Bill. You will get a big kick out of this. Bro, we're getting ready to leave, and I'm getting up. It was like a small theater, not big. Bro, walking right in front of me, exiting, the great Tony Curtis. I just about had a heart attack.
Wait. The great, you froze there.
Tony Curtis.
Really?
Curtis.
Wow. Yeah.
Tony Curtis. I about had a heart attack. All I could say was, "Mr. Curtis, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you." And my son said, "Who was that?" I said, "Tony Curtis." And he says, "Who's that?"
Ask any kid today who Jerry Lewis is. Well, he was in the Nutty Professor movie with Eddie Murphy.
All right, Chris, go ahead. Bro.
Enough of this. It's time to go to Raw.
Go ahead, Chris. It's all Chris. We're not going.
I have Chris. Maybe we can do this on your show because I do this privately for people who, like on Valentine's Day, I'll call 20 people and do 20 minutes each. But I have a whole room here with the tracks and beautiful sound system. And before we get to Raw, what do you sing, Vince? What's your go-to song?
Well, I as a shoot, Mr. Apter, I do a watch along on my Twitch channel every Monday night.
Okay.
And because we all hate Raw and we're bored by Raw and we just want the show to end, they donate. Everybody donates $5 to Russo's brand. I sing the song of their choice. But I usually end up, the last tune I sing is usually Thunder Road by the great Bruce Springsteen.
Okay. That's Springsteen.
Yes, Springsteen.
But anyway.
Chris, are we really going to go over the whole show?
Not anymore. No,
I'm
we're
always
not
right.
going
Right here in our chair.
No, not anymore. This is hey, I'm just alone for the ride, man.
No,
just
no,
alone-
I'm
just
sorry
alone
we
for the
got
ride,
taken away, but I'm a showbiz
Yes,
kid.
go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
And
We're
I
sorry. We
entertained in the
apologize.
Catskills for three. I entertained in the
Listen.
Catskills for
You
three
don't
of
have
the
to
best tours.
apologize. This 20 minutes is better than 3 hours of Raw. That I've
Vince, he doesn't know what the Catskills were. So
The great Catskills.
3 years of my life, 3 of the best summers of my life.
The
entertaining in
Catskills?
Catskills, yeah.
Okay, very nice. Well, what I do know is that MVP started off Raw with Bobby Lashley in the ring promo, and it was interrupted by Big E. By the way, it's a unanimous vote that this conversation of the past 20 minutes is better than Raw. So
There's no question
don't feel bad about it.
I mean, Chris, did we not say last week? Did we not say it was going to be a tag? I mean, I think everybody, I mean, come on, bro. Like everybody knew we're going to go to a tag because now we got the 4 people, and you know,
it was. I mean,
4 people.
Yeah.
Who's missing?
The 4 people for the day 1 match.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Interrupted by Big E. Rollins and Owens attack Lashley, but Bill Apter, please explain this to me. Why in the world does MVP heel it up? Minneapolis boos Bobby Lashley. The 2 heels, Rollins and Owens, attack the most dominant heel on Raw, Bobby Lashley. And the baby face says, I'm going to help the heel who wants to bury me alive, and I'm going to help him.
Well, the other 2 guys attacked
by the
other two guys attacked them.
Yeah.
And if we go toward the mentality of the end of the night, was supposed to wind up with an unusual tag team pairing of Big E and Bobby Lashley. That's where they were going to. That was their logical reason on doing this. That that kid sitting in the chair at 12 years old. Oh my God, Big E and Bobby Lashley are going to team together.
Show me that kid, Mr. Apter. I would like to meet that kid. I don't think that kid. Yeah. I don't think that kid exists, Mr. I'm sorry.
Vince, your take on it. Why did
I'll tell you.
There's the kid.
I saw
his name is Paul.
I saw something I never thought I saw before. Now, Mr. Apter, you cannot defend this one. Because of all my years of watching, and you could talk about me and my swerves and this, that, and the other thing, I had never seen a baby face figure out the heel's plan, but the heel gets the plan to work anyway to totally bury the baby face and make him look like a moron. I've never seen that in my life.
No, I agree with you, but I knew when Big E.
No, I'm talking about Edge. I'm talking about the Edge. I'm talking about the Edge and Maurice when Edge was one step. When Edge was one step ahead. Yeah, Edge was one step ahead. He figured it out. Yeah, I'm sorry. Jumped ahead there. I'm trying, Mr. Apter. I'm trying to get us through this show. I'm trying to jump ahead.
I got you.
Trying to get back to.
Go ahead, Chris.
Come on, Bill Apter.
So what was your question about that?
Go ahead, Chris. Let's go in chronological order. We'll talk about it.
No. We're good. Keeping with this. I thought his lovely, gorgeous, beautiful wife was almost close to an Emmy Award performance there. When she started crying, there she was a little convincing there. And when the Mrs. Music hit and he came from the other side, of course, I knew it was going to be a Russo, but yeah, it just didn't. I don't know, Vince. What, like you said, you couldn't make sense of it. I really couldn't either. Except
I mean, the baby face figured it out, but they got it to work anyway, which made the baby face look like a moron. Yeah. And I mean, and we're talking about Edge here, Chris. We're not talking about you know what I mean. I just thought it made him look really stupid. I didn't understand that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, but he came from the Miz came from behind him.
Right.
He when they started Miz's music, they looked at the area where they come down,
which is
Right.
normal. Yeah.
right. So his back was turned. So
Right.
in a way, that was brilliant planning by the Miz to hit my music and then come out from behind him.
Chris,
So,
first DDP now. Bill out there. Chris, come on, Chris. What are we doing here? Mr. Apter, and here's another thing I want to say.
I'm trying to
Mr.
make
Apter,
sense of it.
Mr. Apter, I've said for 1,000 times, Mr. Apter, Maurice, I think Maurice has such a beautiful face. She's got a good, bro, they slapped so much makeup on her tonight.
I know she doesn't need it.
Yeah, stop. You don't need that. The woman's got a beautiful face, Mr. Apter, and she had so much makeup on tonight. Come on.
I know. I agree with that. And as we used to say in Queens, where I grew up, she's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Tiny Tim, when you met him, didn't have that much makeup on, bro.
Actually, it was close.
Close.
Very close. It really was. If you people don't know who Tiny Tim is, Google Tiny Tim sings
please.
Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
My idol. All right,
Very
go ahead,
nice.
Chris. Go ahead.
Very
Continue
nice.
on with the show, Chris. Go ahead.
Hey, listen. Again, I think people are enjoying it. So I know. Listen, I know how when to steer the ship, and I know when to just let it coast.
Well, I've been close to her. I did several YouTube interviews with her a few years ago, and she was just drop dead gorgeous.
She's got a beautiful face. Beautiful.
Yeah, and her personality is wonderful too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
She's got that cute French,
Yeah.
Canadian or French charm about her.
Yeah. Oui. Absolutely. Je
was gonna
parle
say,
je
exactly.
parle français. Je
Yeah.
parle français.
Yeah. Renee Goulet. Go ahead.
Renee Goulet. There you go. That's all the French you know. Renee Goulet. Bianca Belair defeats Dewdrop. Something else we called Vince Russo. So this is a trilogy of matches in order to get Bianca Belair over. I knew that they're building up to the finish spot. Can she lift up Dewdrop? I wish they would have put more weeks into this and actually did this at the pay-per-view. I think that would have been a better thing than just do a big, jumble of matches. I think that big finish spot, can she lift her up? I think it was diluted because of the many matches. What do you think, Vince?
If it were me.
Hold on, let me go to Vince first.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, Chris, because Mr. Apter, the great historian, will tell you we built throughout history. You've built up some huge slams. I mean, remember when they built up the Andre Hulk? Remember when John Studd was carrying around? I think it was $10,000 payoff.
Yep.
So yeah, bro, I'm with you 1,000%, Chris. And I would have gone beyond the pay-per-view. You really could have built this thing up to make it mean something. But yeah, I think they did it prematurely.
Yeah, Bill, if it were you.
If it were me, this wouldn't have happened at all. To me, Dewdrop would be one of the best fan favorite jolly girls that ever came to WWE. She's got a terrific personality. The fans could adore her and love her, and she should be a friend of Bianca Belair's against all the evil girls there. And I would take another person who's on the show we can talk about later. I would take Otis and make Otis her boyfriend. They could be the cutest couple in the entire world.
Now, Mr. Apter, let me ask you a question. Mr. Apter, how long have you been married?
You talking about both marriages together?
No, the current marriage.
The current marriage, 36 years.
And what's your wife? Would you mind mentioning your wife's name? The lovely.
I keep her out of this thing. Let's say it's
the lovely
Mrs.
Mrs. Apter.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to come up with a ring name for her.
Okay.
We'll call her
Daisy.
Penelope.
Penelope. That's my dog name. The lovely Penelope. Even though you've married for 36 years, when you watch
Wait, hold on. It was how many? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When you watch Dewdrop, are you looking for a spillage? Because she's borderline spillage, like everywhere. Like one of those things is coming out. One of these. Are you looking for that miss?
Oh, it almost happened tonight.
So you are looking. So the answer is yes.
Bianca went on top of her and covered the two things there.
So the answer is yes. Is that okay with Mrs. Apter?
We don't have that kind of a relationship. Yeah, there's no.
So it's okay that you're looking for
it's fine.
spillage. Okay. Now let me ask you another question, Mr. Apter.
I'm not looking for the jugs personally.
If you are an old school,
I'm a guy.
good for you. Well, let me give him applause for that, Mr. Apter. All right, Mr. Apter, can I ask you another simple question? Now,
before I get one chorus about Dewdrop, she's a lady.
Oh,
there you go.
She's a lady talking about. All right, Mr. Apter, can I ask you another question?
One of my go-to songs, by the way.
Yes, you've seen great heels in your lifetime. You've interviewed billions of them.
Rule breakers.
Yes, Mr. Apter, can I ask you a simple question?
Whatever you want. That's why I'm here.
If you're wrestling Bianca Belair and you're a heel and you've got her down, aren't you just tying her hair? Aren't you just tying that to the rope and just keeping her down and just keep putting the boot? Aren't you tying that? Why is nobody tying her hair up to the rope?
Because they'll get disqualified.
But they're heels.
And then they lose the match.
We got DDP Light. We got DDP Light.
How are you?
Of course, as a loser, they don't get. Of course, as a loser, they don't get paid as much.
Why would that be a disqualification?
How is it a DQ?
What's that?
Why would that be a disqualification?
Why? Well, you're taking part of. You're not break. It's part of her body, so you have a 4 or 5 count to break the hold.
Would you mind giving me the number of that rule? What is in the rule book? What number is that?
It varies. It's supposed to be a 4, but some referees do go to 5 before they'll actually disqualify, or they'll push the good guy off. And yeah.
Interesting. But I do agree with you, Chris. They definitely could have built to that and made it something really big.
No. This was premature. This was a giveaway match on TV where they could have made this. They started putting Dewdrop over really well as a good girl, as a baby face.
Right.
There, they really did. And then all of a sudden, they just totally did a whole 360, and I didn't get it because I was really enjoying her ring performances. I think
the turn didn't make sense.
And they'd show the fans in the crowd, and the fans were loving her.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, the fans are loving you, so we're going to make you a heel.
Yeah.
Huh?
The turn didn't make sense. The turn was they all were backstage, and Dewdrop, out of everybody, was mad that Bianca Belair got title shots before, but she earned it because she won the Royal Rumble. So it's like the reasoning behind the turn didn't make sense. It was premature. She spent all that time. We've talked about this on the show before. She got all that time with Eva Marie being just bullied and all that. She broke out of that. That's even a bigger reason to be a baby face and just attract the young people to have that positive message. So she should have stayed.
Look what they could have done with all the merchandising on her.
Yeah,
seriously. Absolutely. I mean, they could have made a fortune on merchandising with her. Now everybody's like, "Oh, her again?" It's terrible. She's a really good performer.
Yeah. So the word is that WWE got the Piper Niven name, her original name, and they are probably going to bring back the Piper Niven character. So it seems like this is the end of Dewdrop.
Who knows the Piper Niven character? You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Does the majority of
I agree.
wrestling fans know the Piper Niven character? No.
I mean, hardcore ones who followed her, indie career and NXT UK and things like that. But no, I mean,
the hardcore fans, and most of them are not fans of sports entertainment.
Yeah. So as far as casual fans, no one knows that. So, Finn Balor defeating Austin Theory. Bill Apter, your thoughts on this? Who gets over? Balor wins, but eventually Theory gets his win back.
Yeah, by attacking him backstage and having another one of those non-heard things with Vince, who was writing nothing on a sheet of paper. And see, again, that's too obvious. I would have been able to see him write his name down and tear it up or erase it or something. I like the first few weeks that I saw Austin Theory with this whole gimmick with the with the selfies.
Mhm.
I liked it. I really thought that they were going someplace with this, but I think they're not moving him up to another level. They're keeping him where it is, so it's the same thing every week at this point.
Yeah.
So the loss, what's it going to do? It gets Mr. McMahon angry at him, but where are they going with this?
Yeah.
Is that going to be his son? And then Shane comes back and says, "What are you doing? That's my father."
I actually wouldn't be opposed to that. Shane versus Theory at WrestleMania. There's your Shane spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really. The person who loses the match is Vince's son.
There you go. I think that gimmick is dead and gone. But
I'm going to do my Austin Theory right now. Smile.
there you go.
Gotcha.
Vince, Finn Balor, Austin Theory.
Chris,
Very nice.
everything on this show is just getting so prolonged and drawn out. And here's what they don't understand, bro. Nobody cares. Like we don't care. Nobody cares about any of this. And it's getting drawn out so they could fill their 3 hours, every week. Bill, I said this all along because I was in that spot and I was writing this show.
Yeah.
Bill, here's the problem. The structure is broken. Vince McMahon is still basically writing this show, and he literally is writing and rewriting and ripping up things the day of. Mm-hmm. So there's no planning. Because there's no planning, they're not developing characters and they're not developing stories outside of the ring, because that takes planning, bro. When you're going to do Austin breaks into Brian Pillman's house and the thousands of other vignettes and stories that have been told, that stuff takes planning. When you're writing this show the day of, because the structure of creative is completely broken, Chris, we're seeing this every week. It's ring, 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 ring. Everything takes place within the ring, within the body of some kind of a match or attack. So, now by the time you get to the pay-per-view, it's been so repetitive, and you've seen so many different looks that by the time you get to, day one, nobody cares. And that's because they're not doing things outside of the ring. That's the problem.
I agree. It doesn't take much. For me, it doesn't take much, because I remember the feud between the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango back in the early 90s, right? Really? And, it was one of those things where the Ultimate Warrior, it was a couple big ones during the feud. Ultimate Warrior beats Enhancement Talent. He celebrates on the apron. Papa Shango comes out, and he does this little spell. And all of a sudden, the Ultimate Warrior, his side is hurting, and he falls down, and he has to get medical attention. And then, of course, many people remember the Goo segment, right? He's interviewing with I think it was Gene Okerlund at the time, and he's talking, the power of the Warriors, right? All of a sudden, the black goo comes down, and he's like, Warriors. And I remember, like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy, man. He's put all these spells on this guy. And that was a way to build the Undertaker. I mean, not the Undertaker, but the Ultimate Warrior as a baby face. And it didn't take one time them touching each other, didn't take one time them having a match. It didn't even make the match really relevant. I mean, to me, it was like the story was so riveting that they could have done wrist locks and a finishing move, and it still would have made sense if Ultimate Warrior would have won, which he did, because that's how you build a story.
I just wrote a column for Sportskeeda tonight about a veteran wrestler who used to do the leg drop all the time. And maybe you have to go back to move forward, and you need someone back from those days who doesn't need himself to get over anymore because he can't work in the ring anymore, and maybe to fine tune what's going on currently. Well, here's how I would fine tune this, because this is what we did and it worked. And maybe the fans today probably have never seen this, or maybe to take a character like in Austin Theory and put some sort of an old school idea behind what they're doing right now to bring him up.
Yep. Yes,
I
indeed.
think you need to go back to go forward. I really
agree.
do.
I agree.
And you can catch that column on Sportskeeda.com. Just go to the Bill Apter profile, and it'll take you right to the story. It was put up about 2 hours ago.
And follow his profile too, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Very nice.
I have to run. I actually have a midnight meeting with someone for my day gig that I have to go to. But before we go, I did want to discuss Omos and AJ Styles. The comparison with Omos and Andre the Giant, it was very well put by whoever had the Miz say that he's not another Andre the Giant. He's the first Omos, because you cannot compare him with Andre the Giant. You can't compare anyone with Andre the Giant.
He's the eighth one in the world for a reason. Bill Apter.
Yeah, so
Apter One Wrestling, and you've got a book, right? Didn't you write a book?
I've got to ask you a question. Is wrestling fixed?
That's a good question. What do you got? What do you got, Bill? What do you think?
You don't know the name of the book, but with 6.5 years.
I didn't think it was broken.
Read the book. I didn't know it was broken. I got more compliments. Real quick, the true story. There was a kid. I was shooting a match in Marietta, Georgia, between Abdullah the Butcher and Mr. Wrestling number 2. And the little kid comes over to me. He said, "Mister, you taking pictures of Toe and Abdullah, and would that match fixed?" And I just didn't even think. I said, "I didn't know it was broken." And his father said, "That's right, son. You can't fix what." So when ECW Press was going to publish my book, the Bill Apter, I said, no. It needs to be something catchy. It needs to be a catchphrase. And they loved the title right away. And I said, I want the book cover to scream out like an old magazine.
That's awesome.
I don't want it to be flat. So, but no, thank you. I appreciate the plug. And I still have my YouTube channel, BillApter.com or OneWrestlingVideo.com. And I'd really love to do this. Again, I'm trying to make the rounds once a month on all the Sportskeeda video shows. And I would love to come back here.
We'd love to have you back, Bill.
Yeah, I got to bring you on some of my shows, man. We got to talk, man. I got to bring you on some of my shows.
Oh, let's do it. But I want to. When are we doing the singing night?
I'm gonna DM you. We're gonna set that up.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. And I do a lot of Barry Manilow.
Yeah, I know every Barry Manilow song.
Do you really?
Where two ships that pass through the night.
And we smile and we say it's all right. Let's just get to the door. Still here. It's just that we're out of sight. Like those ships that pass through the night. Do you know that was written in my... He rarely ever sang that in concert, because he had a broken family, and that was about his father.
I did not know.
He didn't know until he was older.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm
a fan of Low.
Yeah.
So huge. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thank you all.
God bless, Mr. Apter,
for letting me be part of this.
God bless.
And I'll see you at the matches eventually.
You are a national treasure.
And so are all of you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
And I'm looking to see how to get out of here.
I'll kick you out.
So the Leaf Studio. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, everybody who's watching.
All right, Bill. Always a pleasure, man.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Bro, he really is a national treasure. I say that all the time. I don't think people understand. Like, he is a national treasure. I mean, that to still have Bill Apter around is a gift, man.
It is, man. Absolutely. And as long as he's been in the business, and I've had several conversations with Apter, but even before I started writing for Sportskeeda, I've been a journalist for 10 or so years now, and I've had conversations years ago with Bill Apter, and he gave me some some awesome tools. I met him for the first time in person. WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. I was doing media for the Hall of Fame. We were both on the floor, and we met each other for the first time after talking on the phone a bunch of times before that, and had a great conversation. And great guy, man. I
love
I
him. Love
like
the
Bill.
guy.
Yeah, he's an
Love
awesome
the
dude.
Yep.
All right. Well, Vince Russo, it's time to turn gimmicks into gimmickade. Your thoughts on AJ and Omos's breakup? I told you that they were going to break up and that AJ was going to be the babyface. I called this one out too, Vince. What do you think?
Chris, I hate to say this. I just hate to say this. And I think it goes back to what you said about, Bianca Belair and the press, and we could have built that up. Bro, just the way they're doing these things, there's not enough of a bill. There's not enough stock. There's not enough story. There's not enough involvement to make anybody care. I'm going to throw a perfect example at you, Chris, because they've done it before a million times. Okay. The Rockers on the set of The Barber Shop. That's an oh my God moment. I'll go back further. Spiro Sarion shoving the feathers down the throat of Chief Jay Strongbow, his partner. I was traumatized as a kid.
Zabisco turning on San Martino.
Yes,
1980.
Zabisco. You've got to make it mean something. This is not AJ's fault. This is not Almas's fault. But Doctor, I'm going to ask you, what have they done in this relationship to make me care about this breakup? There is no emotional attachment for me whatsoever.
100%.
And then Chris,
100%.
exactly. Now you're going back to Dewdrop. Okay, bro. So we do this, and next week's the match.
Right.
What?
Yeah. No build. What happened to the saga? What happened to the episodic feel? I say this all the time, Vince.
You can't write it the day of, Chris. You can't create that the day of.
Yes, I agree 100%. You can't. I mean, it has to be a saga. I have to be into the story arc, whatever it is. And there's no story that was built around this breakup.
Nothing,
It just
bro.
for the past couple of weeks they kind of tease it, and all of a sudden they break up. That's not a good way to turn AJ babyface again. That's just not a way to do it. There has to be some type of story that comes week after week. You build this thing up, and the more you build it up, the more AJ has that underdog feel to him. And then even in this segment, AJ was getting his some licks in, and then Omos just kind of holds him and chokes him up, and then he slams him, and that was the end of the segment. I mean, where do you go from that?
Bro, you got to understand. I worked with AJ for a decade. Nobody loves this guy more than I do. I should have some type of connection to. That's my boy, bro. I believe it or not, I managed AJ at one point. Me and my wife actually went to church with AJ and his wife. I love this kid, and I've got no that's not his fault.
Yeah.
Why do I care about this? And then the matches why do I care, bro?
Yeah. And it doesn't even make it seem like, it doesn't make the turn seem just riveting, just engaging, because it didn't seem like AJ even wanted to turn, because he still wanted to tag with Omos, and he wanted to tag him in, but Omos for some reason didn't want to tag him in. So all of a sudden, then he gets mad, which is more of a heel move. So Omos is kind of playing the baby face, and then when he beats him up, he's kind of playing the heel. It's just so inconsistent.
God, bro, I go back. Remember the superpowers, bro?
Absolutely.
Remember the way, my God, what stakes and what, oh my, I swear to God, Chris, sometimes it blows my mind because you got a lot of the same people there. You got the Pritchards there, you Heyman, you got Vince. Sometimes it blows my mind because I always ask the question, do you not remember what brought you to the dance?
Right.
How have you forgotten all these great, masterful things you've done in the past? How have you forgotten that, bro?
Like a simple turn. Like a simple turn, Vince. You can't even do a simple turn nowadays. That's what boggles my mind. It's just makes no sense. And it's just like Andre is like, again, I go back to Hogan Andre. Andre was a babyface for 15 years, headlining shows everywhere, doing battle royals, holding up people, with his arms, with his big curly fro, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, he gets upset that Hogan has this big, award and he gets a smaller award. Then he gets this weasel talking to him like, man, you don't deserve that. He gets Bobby Heenan on the side. All of a sudden, he rips Hogan's chain. And Hogan's like, not like this, brother. I'm into the story. It makes sense of why Andre's like, I've been achieving all these things for all these years. You come in and you get this title and you get, yeah, I do kind of feel some type of way about that.
Yeah.
And again, you don't need a lot of physicality involved in that. That whole thing, that was months in the making.
Yep.
And that ended. The payoff was a slam, Vince. That's how riveting.
Yep.
Going before the match was. The payoff was a slam, and that alone is like, yeah, okay, you did something right with bringing us to the dance, to bringing us to that moment where he just simply slammed him. Nowadays, I mean, what's a slam? A super kick, a Canadian destroyer, a plancha where someone's holding up. Like, it doesn't. Less is more. I'm a psychology doctor, and less is more most of the time, Vince. Yep. And it's all you're kind of building up these things now that nothing's good enough because you've built up to super kicks and planchas from the rafters and all that. Now you don't know what to do. now it's just like I'm just kind of like it's kind of blank. I don't know what to do.
I got to tell you something, man. It's like, in my time in working with him, Hulk and I had our ups and downs, and I think Eric had a lot to do with that, to be honest with you. I really believe that. But my point is, I swear to God, bro, the more and more I watch every Monday night, the more and more and more I understand how great Hulk was. When you look at Hulk Hogan now, and if you go back and look at today's, this guy, his legacy is getting greater and greater and greater and greater with him doing absolutely nothing because, bro, and I'm sure he had a lot to do with his character. I know he did when I worked with him. He was very, very protective. I mean, and sometimes it was difficult to work with, but he was protecting his character, bro. Yeah. And when you look at that character and you look at today's wrestling, bro, I mean, my God, like it is night and day, man.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's, I just, like I said, I don't know. I understand Vince is getting older. Bruce is younger than me. Mm-hmm. Have you forgotten the formula here? And bro, don't tell me the formula doesn't work. Don't tell me the formula doesn't work in 2021. You guys can't even stake claim to that because you're not trying it.
Correct.
You're not trying it, bro. It's non-existent.
Yeah.
And you just keep every single one of these feuds. I'm just sitting here saying, I don't care. 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 I mean, Chris, I remember, man, bro, because my son was born on that day. And bro, I was, I was in my, late 20s. Chris, I remember when Savage beat Steamboat, when Steamboat beat Savage at WrestleMania. Bro, a couple of weeks later, they had a steel cage match in Madison Square Garden. I was an adult. I could not wait to go to see that match. Bro, they were cutting the promos behind the cage, and like Savage was like crawling up that cage. I'm like, bro, I was like a 28-year-old. I gotta go see this.
Yeah.
Bro, this has nothing to do with my age and this and that. I was a grown-ass man. I'm watching there's nothing that, why do I care? Edge is a huge star. You know, I had the privilege of working with him when he just broke in. Mm-hmm. Why do I care about Edge and Miz? Why do I care?
Yeah. And again, just the simplest things. I remember back in the 90s when they would have like just kind of like the promos, kind of like the pre-show promos. And someone like Earthquake, like John Tenta, for instance, like he's just doing this, you know, and Jimmy Hart's like doing a lot of the talking. He's like, yeah, you know, he's like, he didn't even have to do anything. He's just kind of going back and forth, the Richter scale, the trimmers and things like that. And it made his character, just doing that, it made his character like, oh man, like this might be the one who takes out Hogan. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what the heels were in the 80s and early 90s. Like, oh, wait a minute. Here comes Earthquake. He might take out Hogan. Here comes Stud. He might be the one. Okay, Andre might be the one. You know what I mean? And that's how it was back in the day.
And now, bro, you got to think for a second before you even remember who the champ is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because they're coming out first. I mean, that's why they don't feel different. They don't feel bad. They don't feel other than, you know what I mean? That's the thing. Like when the tag match, the first out of all the four, the first person that come out was Big E, the champion. And I was like, see, I don't like that. You have to protect your characters. Big E should be the last person to come out because he's the champ. It should be focused on him, and he's lost in the shadows because everybody else is coming out after him. Just simple as that. We have we talked about Finn Balor, Orton and Gable. So they're building up the RKO on Otis. So that's the big build up with that.
Yeah. Well, what build up? It's next week.
Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing.
He couldn't hit him with the RKO this week. Next week, bro.
Next week, exactly. I was thinking the same thing,
bro. It's like, this is paint by numbers, man.
Yes. It's so funny you said that. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, so there's something to build to. Will he hit the RKO next week on Raw? Why do you do that? I just don't understand it. Why so microwave? You got to put this thing in the oven, man. Let it cook. Next we have Ziggler and Priest. This contenders match. Well, I don't get the contenders match. It's called Joey. He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
We are not. I don't care how long Mr. Apter was on this show. We are not flying past that 24/7 segment.
Oh, I missed it, man. I might have dozed off.
Oh,
Chris. Dude, I kid you not. I'm usually here in my office doing something else so I don't fall asleep. My wife, she wanted to watch. She just wanted to watch TV with me. She wanted to spend time with me. She was willing to watch wrestling to spend time with me.
Bless her heart. Bless her.
That's a big deal. And so I kid you not, Vince, she couldn't get past half of it. 9:30 she was out. And she doesn't go to sleep that early. She was out at 9:30.
Bro,
there was a couple times where I just dozed off because I wasn't doing anything but on my phone, and I was just like, oh man, I need to do something here. So I missed it, man.
This 24/7 was so bad, bro. It was like a winter wonderland, and but just horrible.
What happened?
Horrible. Oh my God. Tamina was on the scene again, and Tamina and Dana Brooke wind up getting into it. And, you know, they were on some kind of set, like when you go to see Santa, there's trees and icicles. And it's horrible. It's just horrible. It's just horrible.
Wow. Was that that was before Ziggler and Priest?
Right before it, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, this contenders match. So Ziggler wins by count out, meaning that he's going to get a United States Championship at day one. No, next week on Raw, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
you know what I hate more than anything? He is. I swear to God, you talk about just insulting me. Ziggler's been a wrestler for God knows how long. So now Damian Priest makes the scary face and Ziggler's running away from him.
Yeah.
Bro, I always say this all the time. Don't give me a baby face heel baloney. Why are you becoming a professional wrestler if you're going to run away from you really should be getting in another profession. You know, you're a professional wrestler because you're going to be wrestling and fighting these people. You make the decision to get into wrestling only to run away from people that make scary faces. Bro, come on.
You gotta beware those scary faces.
And
man.
we called this last week too, bro, because Damian Priest wrestled Rude, and we said next week he's wrestling Zig. We said it, bro.
Yeah, it's predictable, man. I don't understand the concept of the contenders matches. When I watched wrestling, there was contenders matches between two people that weren't the champion to face the champion because the champion's above. They should be reaching for the champion, not going against them to beat them to go against them again. There's plenty of people backstage to have these contenders matches without actually having a champion. It's not a contenders match. It's a person who may be a contender if they beat the champion match. It doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't.
The logic is horrible. Beating that just goes to show how 50-50 it is nowadays. You have to beat the champion in order to win the championship. Why didn't you just win the championship then? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Like if so many times, like this was a count out, so it's a different deal. But there's so many times that people act like, for instance, on SmackDown, the New Day beat the Usos, pinned them. I love the New Day. They're my favorite tag team. But they was like, okay, we're going to go against each other in day one, but let's go against each other tonight. And they just beat them clean. And I'm like, why don't you just win the championships then? That just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. You gotta separate the champions, man. Yeah. Again, we talk about this all the time when it comes to MMA. That's like me beating the MMA champion, and I'm ranked like number 4 or 3, and I'm just like, I'll just go against the champion tonight. Yeah. Let's just bill it as that. If I beat him, I just beat him. I don't get the title. That just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Now we got we talked about the Finn Balor being attacked by Austin Theory, and then your segment, Vince McMahon and Austin Theory again. He goes and that all leads to a rematch, Vince, between Theory and Balor. That's what we get from this.
And bro, and think about the Vince McMahon character we once knew.
Yeah.
Now you're going to give this guy another chance to prove himself when you got a locker room of 100 guys. Like, why? Yeah. Why?
And he lost clean. I mean, there wasn't anything like it wasn't screwy. It wasn't the ref got distracted. Anything. It was a clean win. So why are you giving him another shot? And he lost cleanly. There was nothing to stop them. And so it just doesn't make sense to me at all. And then we go back to the pencil thing. Like what's this pencil gimmick?
And he was erasing like nothing.
Yeah, he just like
I don't know, bro. Listen, let's be honest. He's way too old for the storyline to be like Austin Theory's my son. He would have had to have Austin when he was like 55. Yeah. Like that ain't happening. So I don't know where we're going with this, bro.
Yeah, I don't know either. And even if he beats, like for instance, next week, if Austin Theory beats Finn Balor, what does that even mean nowadays? Well, like Finn Balor hasn't been built for Austin Theory beating him to even mean anything.
That means we could drag the demon back out and stretch it out another 3 months.
We can drag the demon back out.
Exactly. I'm sitting here. I could not. I'm going higher and higher and
Yes.
higher with my volume. I'm like, will you freaking speak up, bro? Like, this is ridiculous.
I heard a few things. He was, I like it because I like to fire people during Christmas. It makes me feel really good. They're like,
bro, I don't know. Maybe we're just not getting the joke. I don't know.
I guess not, man.
Bro, can you imagine though if as a shoot, like talent is meeting with this guy when with their future and their livelihood, and they don't understand what he's saying?
Right. Yeah, that's
can't
probably why we got
saying,
Raw that looks like it does now.
Bro, you can't keep saying what? Like you can't keep doing that to him.
You can't do that once with Vince.
Oh my god, bro!
What do you mean? What I said?
Yeah.
You don't hear what I'm saying?
Oh man, bro.
Some people were making good points there. Austin actually could be Shane's son. That's how.
Yeah, he could. He legitimately could. So he's Vince's grandson now.
There you go, grandson. Yeah, he's his grandson.
Okay,
yeah,
very nice.
That's why you bring a change back. He gets a majority. He gets a minority stake or something like that. Yeah, because Shane was born in 70, I believe, right? And so Shane's 51, I believe. So the theory's like 26 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he can be a son. Yeah. Austin Theory is 24.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shane would have had him at
27.
26 years old, man. 27. I think Shane was born I don't know what month it was. So 26, 27. He was born in January of 70. So he would have been 27. So let's see. Now we have the cutting edge. We talked about that with the Maurice segment, and then I didn't see the 24/7 segment, but what I did see, Vince. He's not just my future.
Bro, somebody said, I don't know if they were ribbing me or not. Somebody said they've shown the vignette 11 times.
Bro, someone gave me a screenshot count on Twitter, and they tagged me on there, and they tagged me all the times that they've shown the times the plugging him to come.
Yeah. Somebody said it was 11 times.
Yeah. It's crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's not just my future. He's not just your future. Firmahan is our future.
Bro, I don't understand. Like, who is saying, okay, we couldn't get Jinder over, but we're gonna get this guy over. Why? What didn't Jinder have that you couldn't get him over, but this guy you're gonna get over? Tell me what?
And what's tainted, and what's so tainted is that the fact when he was Veer and Shanky and cranky with Jinder Mahal, like no one knew that. Like that's forgettable. Like everybody's just going to forget the fact that he was just basically a job guy teaming up with Jinder Mahal and Shanky and cranky and being in Raw Underground and being like the fall boy for Jinder Mahal. We just forget all of that. That means nothing.
I don't know, bro.
But one thing we do know, Veerman is coming to Raw.
Yes.
Where's my applause, man? Where's my this is awesome? Where's my you deserve it?
Hold on, here you go.
Oh.
There you go, Chris.
All right. Here, listen, we got to do it again. All right, I'm about to give him a big plug, and after I'm done, give him the crickets. All right,
go ahead.
Next week, 2 days after Christmas. Season's greetings. Because this man is coming to Raw. He's Fear Man. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Rhea Ripley defeats Queen Zelina. Another match that we've seen ad nauseum, man. That just really doesn't put anybody over.
And
Rhea
again,
lost this week. She won this.
Rhea Ripley may be the most wasted talent on this.
Oh yes,
She's one thing she's got to work on though, bro. That I hate what she does. She telegraphs everything.
She does.
Like she sets up way too early.
She does a clothesline. It's just
but she's a beast, bro. Like I'm sorry, like she totally miscasted being wasted.
I 100% agree. I mean, she's incredible, and I think losing last week, winning this week, what in the world does that do with her character? And they're saying, okay, well, she won this week because Nikki ASH isn't there. So does that mean Nikki turns? She turns?
Oh no, another breakup, bro. For us to be anticipating. Oh, I can't wait. They
had 3 breakup segments last week, and so like they had one officially. They had 3 breakup teases last week.
Yeah.
And now they kind of teased Lashley and MVP too.
Yeah,
it was a tease, and then they did the official with AJ and Omos.
Yeah,
and then they teased Rhea and Nikki. So that's 3 teases or 3 breakup segments again. Next we have Liv Morgan. Man, that I literally dozed off on this promo.
Oh my, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I swear to God, bro. Like, there are so many of these segments where they're eating up so much time and nothing is said. Yeah. Like absolutely nothing is said, man.
This was a horrible job of building. Like stuff like this has to be rehearsed, Vince. I mean, you can't have confidence because I mean, I'm really pulling for Liv, but there's nothing of her first spot in the main event. All right. So you really have to spend a lot of time grooming her, doing a lot of promo classes because her mic work is very weak. She has the look, she has the potential, good moveset in the ring, solid performer as far as in the ring. But just her character, though, she does the little tear rhinestones thing. I don't understand that. I just who is she? Like, who is Liv Morgan? What's her gimmick, Vince?
And then, bro, like it's so that one scene that they showed from SmackDown. So they set it up, bro, that this is Becky's gym.
Right.
So this is Becky's home gym, like going into Ohio State, bro, going into their arena. Yeah. You go. So, bro, she's going into Becky's arena with all Becky's students and all Becky's people there. She's going to catch everybody by surprise and attack Becky in her yard.
Yep.
But before she does anything, she's going to stand there for 10 seconds and nobody's going to do a damn thing while she's holding a can. Like, what? What, bro? Bro, can you imagine me jumping you at your house and all your friends are over? You got a house full of people.
Yeah.
But I decide, I'm going to walk in Dr. Chris's house. I'm going to stand there. All his friends are going to be there. I'm going to have a baseball bat in my hand, and I'm just going to wait till he's the freaking logic, bro, of anything they do. Bro, again, I'm just putting myself in the shoes of the producer. If I'm the producer, that's what I'm saying. Wait a minute. She's entering Becky's house with all Becky's people with a weapon.
Yes.
And she's just going to stand there. Like, do you know how illogical that whole thing is, bro?
Everybody, there's female trainees there. They're just like, oh wow, Like she's got a kendo stick too. They all should have just rallied up and taken the kendo stick. But no, we'll just let her.
Freaking illogical.
Yeah, we'll
bro.
just let her beat up
So,
on
yeah.
our teacher, our trainer. Yeah. Last we have Big E and Lashley defeating Owens and Rollins, and then Lashley gets jumped. What's up with Babyface and Lashley nowadays?
Yeah.
What's up with that, man? They're going to make him the new Babyface.
I guess so. I mean, that's what it feels like the last couple of weeks.
It does. Why though?
I don't know. That's what I was just going to ask you. Why am I rooting for Bobby Lashley? Like, why?
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you have a babyface, you have Big E. Use what you have correctly.
Yeah.
Like, why would we think that the WWE is going to book another babyface right if the babyface with a ton of charisma, way more charisma than Big E, than Bobby Lashley has, you book him wrong? It seems like there's more meat on the bone to book Big E right because of his charisma than to book a MVP-less babyface Bobby Lashley. Now, I like Lashley as a face, but I think that there's a lot more work to do that you have to spend some more time on that WWE doesn't have the patience to build.
And bro, and what else? Okay, and what else are we teasing? We're teasing something between Owens and Rollins.
Right.
Same exact, I mean, the same exact thing, bro.
Agreed, man. Yep, agreed. Well, Vince Russo, it's always a pleasure doing these shows with you because you understand. You get it, Vince. And so let the listeners know. But before we go, before we plug their brand, there's one more thing to plug. You ready? Get ready. Coming to Raw. There. Cricket.
Oh, doctor, people were buzzing me all week long about them popping last week over you doing things. That's all I was getting all week long. Like, that's all I was.
I got a lot of tweets about mumbling Vince. And, people say that my both mumbling Vince and regular Vince impressions are spot on. So, hey, SK Nation, if you want me to do more Vince McMahon impersonations, hey, you got to give the people what they want, and so that's what we're going to do. More Vince McMahon. Listen, you're going to get a Vince McMahon impression every single week as long as Veer Mahan vignettes are going. And as long as he mumbles on Raw, you will get a Vince McMahon impression every single week. So there we go. Let them know about the brand, my man.
Yeah, guys, please. Speaking of Vince, man, I did my fourth part of Vince versus Vince, bro. I'm giving you the whole history of me and Vince because I'm putting it to bed forever. And I'm working towards our last email exchange, which I can't wait to talk about because I think it's going to give you a lot of insight as to where this guy's head is with the way his company is right now. And it's a really good series, guys. You can check that out, man. That's on patreon.com/Russo TWC Vince versus Vince.
Yeah. And subscribe to your Twitch too. Plug your Twitch, man. I was looking at the while I was trying to go into it and I saw that I had to subscribe. I was trying to get watch the That's Life. I was on Twitter today.
Yeah, I do That's Life every week. That is the most important show on Russo's brand. But yeah, guys, I'm always on Twitch, man. I'm always interacting with everybody on Twitch. I do karaoke on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live. You guys catch me on it.
Yes, twitch.tv/Vince Russo Live. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
He's Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris Featherstone.
Or do you think we can listen? What are the odds of us getting Paige to bury something on that? You think we can make that happen? Is there anything? Is there anything we're ever going to get that guy to bury?
I think every week we should bring somebody up just to see. Like we'll just throw a name out there, like
Veer Mahan.
Veer Mahan. There we go. Veer Mahan.
Bro,
Veer
if
Mahan.
he puts over Veer Mahan,
24/7 segment. There we go.
Oh no, bro. Yeah, we got to try that. We got to throw that
right.
in. Oh my god, bro, that's too much. All right.
So everybody who's watching this right now, catch us on Thursdays. Vince, DDP, myself for the Bro Show every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're gonna try to throw something out there for DDP to bury, because he does not hold a shovel in his hand.
No,
he's a kind soul. So
yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Legion of Raw. Be sure to catch us Thursday for the Bro Show, bro. Hold on. Before we go, I got my drum. Here we go. Ready? All right.
Big finale.
Here's the hype. I got my drum.
Big finale.
All right, here we go. Ready? Bro Show. Bro Show.
Yes, very nice.
Have a good night, everybody. Peace.